Good afternoon, everybody. This is Craig Marvel, Fathers on Cue. Welcome back to the channel today. Um, I've been incognito for a few weeks now, since probably around spring break, and I haven't recorded anything as of late. This is my first time jumping back on to give y'all some content, and I had to reevaluate what I was doing as far as what I wanted to accomplish with the Fathers on Cue space. And I realized that I haven't really told my whole story. Um, I guess over the years of the things that have happened, good and bad, and I want to start sharing those stories. I was coming out on Tuesdays and Thursdays around 6 o'clock to bring out some video content, but now I realize I need to um, make videos and anchor podcasts every day. So there's going to be more content coming out. Like, hopefully you guys can like, share, and comment on it, and hit the notification so you know when something else is coming out. So I guess I'm picking up the frequency. There's some things over the years that I haven't spoke about yet. I mean, I've been doing content around, hold on one second. I've been doing content around fatherhood and mentorship. This is kind of like the same thing, but it's just stories that will give you a better insight on possibly to handle different situations in your life and push forward through things when you have adversity. So, well, first, thank y'all for viewing today, listening, etc. Shout out to the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. Made sure she was good yesterday. I may put some food pics up later on Facebook, Instagram, but we shall see. So there's four, I have the Fathers on Cue section of the channel, but now I'm gonna do four more sections within that. The first one being, I used to work in public housing in Irvington. And I was the recreation coordinator over there. So there's a lot of stories with that. I'm gonna share one today. It's a funny story, but at the time it wasn't funny. And just to talk about, I'll talk about that. I'll get more in depth into that in a minute. But I'm gonna call that Lines and Union because that's where basically the street was over in Irvington. And then I worked at a group home for many years out in Somerset County. And there's a couple of good stories out there I want to touch on. Excuse me. And then a couple stories from the years I played. I was up in Fairfield University in Connecticut, and I want to call that North Benson Road because that's the street that the campus was off of. And 238. So that's the address where I grew up at in Roselle, and that's what I'm going to call that. So when you see the different titles or whatever, they'll probably be like episode 1, episode 2, like that, and there may be something specific in there. So today, I'm gonna talk about Lines and Union today. I worked over there from '96 to 2006, and a youth coordinator and their recreation director. And over the years, a lot of interesting, I work with the kids. So a lot of interesting kids I came in contact with, and I still, as they grew into teenagers and then young adults, and then now they have their own family. It's interesting to see the transitions that they made and where they're at now compared to where they were before. So one of the things that over the years, I think maybe starting in 99-ish, and every year after that, I used to take a trip to Sesame Place. Used to do Sesame Place and Dorney Park. That'll be another topic that I'll talk about. There was a couple interesting events that happened on the Dorney Park trip, but today just want to talk about Sesame Place. So some of you parents have taken your kids to Sesame Place back in the late 90s, mid 2000s. It was cheap. I should say cheaper, but compared to today's prices, crazy, off the hook. So Sesame Place used to rent a bus, and they fit like the 55 passenger ones with the bathroom, whatever. And I think the tickets get the discount tickets after you get like 25 people paid or whatever. Then you get, if you pay over 25, you get a discount. I think the tickets was like $20 or $22 back then, compared to like 30, 32 or 35. So got all that together, got all the kids on the bus. The trip was so Sesame Place was for kids 12 and under. And some of the kids need to have their parents come with them or a guardian come with them, whatever. So we set that up. They had the permission slips, everything. But the 12-year-olds could go by themselves. I mean, it's not a place where you can get lost, but not really. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So 12 and under, parents have to accompany kids, and there was like a time limit. As some of you may know, there's a time limit for you to have the bus. So the trip, we usually start off we leave like, how Black folks is, hate to say it, it's just us sometimes. You got to tell them 7:30 so we'd be ready by 8:30. I'm just saying, that's how we had to do it to make sure that we could leave on time, because people straggle, whatever. I used to remind them, okay, tomorrow. So we like go on a Tuesday or Wednesday Wednesday in July, and then the trip for Dorney Park was usually in August, like the first week in August, and then first week in August for Dorney, and or vice versa. I forget how I did it, but it usually was the first Tuesday or Wednesday after 4th of July. So everything's good. Everybody gets on the bus. We shoot out the PA for the Sesame Place. Everything went well. Slid on in there. No issues, no problems. So we're supposed to be out of there because most of the times back then it was usually hot. I mean, it's July, but we talking about July. We talk about maybe sometimes 100 degrees. So the kids wouldn't necessarily last, even though they had water and everything. They had the water park part of the water park part of the park, and the kids could go get in the water, whatever, cool off, do their thing. So usually, like around, I would tell everybody, I would encourage everybody to bring their own food, so you wouldn't have to pay the crazy prices in the park, because food was it's ridiculous at all the amusement parks. Doesn't matter where you go to, food prices was crazy. So I would encourage people to bring their own, go to the corner store, go wherever you need, get you some cold cuts, whatever, make your food, fry some chicken, bring that, whatever you had to do, bring your cooler, slide underneath the bus. So doing about halfway through, I think we would leave like 3 o'clock to come back. So halfway through, maybe about 12:30, come back to the bus, do your thing, eat. 1 o'clock, go back in the park. You got 2 more hours. Okay. So here's what happened. So this is why I'm going to call this episode "The Lost Child." Okay. Shout out to him. I'm not going to say his name. Back then he was 12 years old. But some of y'all, and y'all will remember this if you went on the trip or after when you came back. Yeah. And shout out to him. He's now a dad, and yeah, he's one of them kids that you felt as though he was going to do something with himself later on. He's done a wonderful job, and shout out to you and your family if you watch it. But I'm not dropping your name. So we're not going to do that. So it's time that everybody's back on the bus. I'm counting everybody up, whatever, and I'm saying, where's this person at? did y'all see him? Whatever, whatever. I know there was about a group of maybe 4 or 5 of them that were together, but I think he may have, wandered off and wanted to do his own thing. Now, I didn't know how big Sesame Place was until I had to go searching for this little kid. um, and back then, we had a policy: if you spent money, as far as myself as a worker, if you spent money on something, you can get reimbursed if it was appropriate. So what happens with buses is that I think it was for every hour or every half an hour, you got to pay X amount, $50 extra or $100 extra, whatever it was. So, 3 o'clock, we're about to leave. He's like, okay. So we're still looking. Okay, we'll take like 4 or 5 of us adults, go look for him. Meet back here at such time, say 3:30. See if we can find him. Couldn't find him. Did another sweep through the park. Couldn't find him. It's 4 o'clock. I don't know if this kid was dutching or dodging us, or he knew when somebody's around that we couldn't see, he would run away, but that wasn't the case. We just wasn't looking in the right spot. So I think it was about 4:30-ish. We finally, found him. And I don't know if y'all know the, what did they call that? The rope climbing thing, where you're up in the ropes and you got to go to the different levels, and it goes up and it goes up, then you come down. So he was up in there. That's why we couldn't find him. And he had said he'd been in that area for, and he didn't have no watch, of course, I don't think. So he wasn't really keeping track of the time either. So he was just having a good time, like a 12-year-old supposed to do at a amusement park. Like I said, he wasn't a bad kid. He didn't do it on purpose. He just, he wasn't on, I guess, time. So I couldn't be mad at him. I was just happy that I found him. I couldn't leave and come back to Irvington without this kid. Imagine that. Come back to Irvington and we couldn't find him. What? No, that's not that wasn't even a thought in my mind. We were going to stay there until we found him. So I couldn't even get mad at him. I think I paid $250 or $300 extra or whatever. I got my money back from the company. But I mean, it just was, at one point it was getting scary, because not to say that something may have happened to him, but what if something did? As a parent now of 3, looking back on that, wow, what if my kid was lost like that? And I kind of treated them like that as my kids, because I had a responsibility to take care of them at the time and make sure that they not only were safe while they were with me, but they came back home. So you're talking about not only him, but 54 other people, on a trip of that, magnitude, with everything that's going on in the world or whatever. Like, so I just try to make sure that number one, we found him, but I couldn't even be mad at him. He's just being a kid. He just didn't know like what's going on or whatever. So he kind of just was doing his thing. But shout out to him. Hopefully he gets to watch this, and it'll bring back some memories and stuff like that. I just wanted to share that with you guys. So the lost child, and it was funny at the time. I mean, it wasn't funny at the time, but now looking back on it, So I appreciate you, bro. Keep doing your thing with your family. May God keep blessing your family. And for all the people out there who have lost kids in the park and finally found them, shout out to you, because I know the feeling. Okay. So I just wanted to share that story with you. There'll be more to come. I'll get on that the Dorney Park story in a second, but probably tomorrow. But today I just wanted to talk about the Sesame Place story. So look forward to hearing more things like that from me. And it's going to be in random order, but it'll just be out there. Whatever I've written down some things already, and we're just going to have a good time with it, you know. And hope you guys enjoyed this one. All right. Until next time, if Craig Martin follows on cue, I'm going to hit the outro.